This is your crystal ball. Here's the best part about this chapter. People who've been here with me since 2008 every year, because once you come to Forensic, you come back every year. It's just like that. Every year they go through this chapter, and every year they realize, oh, well, I have to make some adjustments. So today, in about 30 minutes, you know exactly where you're going to end up in your MLM Direct Sales career. Is that good? Yes. You don't have to wait 3 more years. You'll find out right now. This chapter it's interesting because I Googled it the other day, and I find that every year when I Google it, there's a whole bunch of new languages of this chapter. Companies are doing it. Other companies are taking liberties on it. There's about 15, 16 other companies are using it right now, translating all these languages. I don't know what language even they are. But by opening, and I'm okay with that because that's my contribution to the industry. Because if the DSA implemented this as the must-go chapter for every company, we would have a much better reputation in the industry. Because people think they're doing it. They're not doing it. In other words, they don't know what they don't know. They think they know, but they don't know. So when they don't get the results that they want, they go blame the company and the industry. So now we have all these complaints of people thinking, well, I tried, it didn't work. No, you didn't try. No, you didn't do it right. So that's what this chapter is so good. So a lot of companies now discovered it. And as long as they keep it as a forensic network, I'm okay with it. So I open up those different languages and different companies using it. They should ask for permission, but that's okay. A few of them do, but the rest don't. But this is a forensic networker, and then they translate it and they share it. And if this can save a portion of the workforce, I'm happy with that. Good for them and good for the industry. And if every company did that, we wouldn't have regulators shutting down 40-year-old companies because of complaints. Because at the end of the day, you get a lot of complaints. The regulators are pressured to take action, whether it's correct or not. So that's how important this chapter is. Because we have unsophisticated workforce, sometimes to make up for the lack of knowledge, they find ways to lure people into the industry who should not be in it to begin with, or if they're coming in, they should be coming in with a better set of knowledge of what this actually is. So I've looked back in my years of 4 different companies. I've built 4 different organizations. 3 of the 4, I was a master distributor. The other one, the very first one, it became what's called an international marketing director, which was a second top level. And I've looked back some of these organizations, over 100,000 people, and I'm always assessing the industry, assessing my team. Why is it that some people hit a financial home run and some don't? And it's not an easy answer to that, because it's easy to write people off and say, well, they're a bunch of lazies and then didn't do anything. That's not true. But I had some good people who worked really, really hard. They just couldn't do it. Now, it's not like they couldn't do it. You don't need the specialized set of skills here. It's just basically you have to pick up some disciplines. And sometimes people find it hard to make those adjustments. If they have a heart, they work hard, they die hard, but they just don't make those adjustments. So I always look at it and assessing. So after, I guess, 26 years of this, about 10 years ago, I categorized the industry, the MLM workforce, into 8 different categories. So it's not, oh, they're a bunch of dogs, or, no. There's actually, people are different. 8 different categories. And some of them are quite funny, actually, quite interesting. And when I go through this, you'll be laughing a bit because, oh, shoot. And later on, we're going to do some group share on this, and you're going to laugh your head off because people realize things about themselves that they didn't know for the past 20 years of doing this industry. So we're going to give you that crystal ball today. And the reason why we're doing this, I want to save the industry. If you're not going to do this, I want you to know you're not doing it. Don't go blaming the industry. It's the greatest industry on the planet. It's the best thing ever happened to human beings. It's the last bastion of the free enterprise. That's right. It's the last bastion of the free enterprise, last chance for the average person to hit a financial home run. Don't blame the vehicle. Blame the driver. earlier on, I had my St. Lucia group leaders came here in the front row. I love front row people, I'm telling you. In the old days, what we used to say was that front row, remember those days we had tapes, right? They called Memorex, remember those days? And some of the young guys are too young to know what this tape stuff was. But in the old days, there was no CDs, right? It was like these big record things, and then there's tapes, right? So we used to say, front row is live, back row is Memorex. It's the tape. So you want in the front, you just, you connect differently. And I'm going to bring Vernisha up later on because she's got what a beautiful story she has. And if you could create a beautiful story like that in an island of St. Lucia, 180,000 people, absolutely. And it just, all it does is it tells you that the business duplicates everywhere. If you could do it in St. Lucia, you can do it in Nigeria, you can do it in Australia, you can do it in Canada, in Europe, it duplicates everywhere. So one of the things I want to get rid of in the next 2 days is that something I talk a lot about. People tend to, in my chapter Forensic Mental Warrior, is people always talk about, well, my country's different, my city is different, my culture is different, my family is different, my friends. People are people everywhere. Everybody wants the same thing. It's not your people that are different. You need to adjust. You need to get better. Again, the late Jim Rohn says, don't ask for things to be easier, ask for you to be better. That's what the Forensic Network is all about. So, because of the lack of knowledge that's going on, I want you to know where you're at. And today will do that. First group that joined companies, because they didn't really get into a profession, the first group that joined companies, I call them the Lauder Group. These are the people, it's not really their fault, although obviously they should know better. They were told by the person who introduced them to the industry that, hey, come and invest, get a position, I'll build it for you. So, this happens a lot in the business. So, last almost 3 decades, I hear it all the time. Oh, the person I was talking to, he says, just go and buy a position, you make money. Like, seriously? Do you see what the problem is? When you tell, this is not a selling situation, folks. To sell a package, enrollment package, and then what? You're never going to make money again, and you got somebody really upset. And that model, most important, will duplicate your organization. Next thing you know, 2 years from now, you're doing another company because everything collapsed. So this is not about a sale. It's a business, a partnership. We built this together. So the Lauder Group came in because somebody told them, come, invest, and I'll build it for you. Well, if that's you, if somebody told you that this is why you're in this industry, because somebody told you that, well, I'm here to tell you, enjoy your products. And lucky for you, we have nice products, you can enjoy. There's no extra boxes in the basement that's going to expire. I have to keep it in memory, we have other people in the room. So I apologize for that. Okay, so enjoy your products, because you're not going to make significant wealth or any success. So first group in our industry, they're rare, but they're there. It's called Lauder Group. They thought it was an investment. They thought they're going to buy a MLM or direct sales lottery and the numbers will come up at some point. It's not. It's a business. Much like if you invested $2 million in a McDonald's franchise, as good as a franchise as it is, if you don't go open the door the next day, if you don't go to Hamburger University and learn how to flip hamburgers and clean bathrooms, if you don't go to work every day, you just lost $2 million. Does it make sense? Lauder Group, enjoy your products. Second, weekend wanderers. I love these guys because I run into them all the time. They come, they're motivated, excited, they go to a tour and boom, I'm going to make $1 million if it takes me all weekend. It's a process. It's a business. It takes time. Banks know this very well. We've got lots of bankers in the room. Banks, when you go to them in the business, they don't expect you to see profit the first 3 to 5 years. It takes time to make a profit. So to come in because you know 5 people that you think they're going to say yes and they're going to make you rich, and I've seen that. And usually these guys are kind of cute because they come in, it's usually guys, they usually come in, And they got the designer suits on. They smell good, look good, all that stuff. They got enough gel in their hair to put, and they come in and they get them motivated. Really good salespeople. They're good speakers. They're shiny shoes and all of that stuff. And they start developing a team. And next thing you know, they show up in a meeting with a big tag, smoking guns or something like that. They got a group going, and they look great, and they make a lot of noise, and they make some big checks, and they disappear. And here's what happens with them. These people generally are very good salespeople, and they're good presenters, but they don't believe in trainings very well. They don't believe in that, okay, there's two parts to a business. Get them in and keep them in. They forget the second part. They talk about get them in. They think it's a selling situation. It's not. I keep talking about that. We're not in a selling business. We're in a marketing business, relationship business. So this thing's about residual. It's about leverage. It's not about initial sale. I always say, how many of you, I know there were some people that launched the VDM yesterday, but they said they were coming today. So who launched yesterday? Anyone here? Okay, so maybe they couldn't make it.
Almost here, right here.
Okay, good stuff. So congratulations for that. So here's absolutely. So it was a whole bunch of people yesterday at the tour that launched, and they wanted to do the diamond package, but they couldn't. My mantra is always the same. It's not how you start that matters, it's how you finish. Right? It's not how you start, how you finish. So, get them in, keep them in. The weekend wanderers don't believe in the training side, the duplication side. So they get a whole bunch of people in, they make a few big checks, and when they don't see duplication, they move on to the next company. So if that's you, you think you're gonna make $1 million if it takes you all weekend, enjoy your products. Here's a problem though, here's a problem. By doing that, you're gonna hurt a lot of people. Because they go out, they get a whole bunch of people in, and they move on to the next company, and all these people are now abandoned. This is why the governments move in. The government has a rule, it's in our policies and procedures as well, it's called, every good company has it, it's called supervisory role. What that is, it's not our policy, it's a government policy, is that the government says, as a company, I can't even pay you, regardless of your volume, if you're not supporting the people you brought in. And why they don't do that, why they have that law is because they don't want people to do exactly what I just talked about, where you get them in, you get them to invest, and then abandon them. The governments don't want that. So they're saying, you must, as a company, we will have a mandate to force people to support their people. It's called a supervisory role. Every good company has that. And I've only had to enforce that maybe once or twice in our history. You know, we give people enough room, and luckily we don't have that much of a problem with this company. I've seen some disasters with other companies, and here is the reason why. With us, we pay to infinity. So it doesn't matter where they fall within your organization, you're getting paid on them. With the other three methods of distribution, which is a breakaway and unilevel system or matrix system, you only get paid, you have a ceiling or cap on how deep you can get paid, 8 levels, 10 levels. None of them pay to infinity. So all of a sudden, if your people fall below that pay line, then people feel like they don't need to support them anymore because I don't get paid on them. So this happens in other types of distribution because they only pay 8, 10 levels, whatever that level is, it's not to infinity. So they have a lot of problems outside the binary system when it comes to that, and the government put the rule for that reason. But in binaries, we don't have as much problem. The good binaries that pay to infinity because, again, it benefits you anyways. So good or great? Great. All right. Number 3, slave driver. I like this one. These are the ones that come in and they say, look, I'm going to invest. The investors, really, they're not in the business. I'm going to invest, but you build it for me. So, and they expect you to build it. They're not shy to ask you, hey, can you give me some of your best leads? Can you put them in my team? You know, oh, come on, Sean, you got lots of leads. Can I take some of your leads and put in my team? I'm in your team anyway, Sean. So can I just take it, right? You get that a lot, slave drivers. And what I like is about these guys is that some of them actually get lucky too because, especially in the binary programs, the upline builds one leg for them. So they actually got a 2/3 build. And all they want is, Sean, just 2 good leads, put on my inside leg, and just 2. And build it. So I call them slave drivers, right? They came, they invested, and they want to get paid forever. They're looking for a welfare check. So again, they're rare, but they're there. You know, and like I said, not shy to ask upline for some of the best leads so they can make money. So if that's you, well, the upline will only entertain that for a little bit. And after that, they're going to say, oh, here's another one too. They say, okay, here's my list, upline, call for me. So here's my list. Can you call for me and put in my business and then train them and then let the company pay me? It's a good deal. I think there's a name for that. Welfare. That doesn't pay very well either. Right? So anyway, slave driver, if that's you, enjoy your products because you're not going to make any money in this business. Good or great? Great. Social group. I love you guys. That's the next one. This is a very large segment of the MLM workforce. Good people, likable people, great team players. They love helping out. They're beautiful. They sit on the front, at the desk, they cheer people in. They do anything you want. They're the big integral part of an organization because they bring so much organization and effort. And primarily they're there for the social aspect. Money's secondary. And money's good, but it's secondary. They want to be there because they love being there. And so those folks, again, nice people. And if that's what you want, because MLM does bring a very strong social aspect. And if that's what you want to do, great. Congratulations, we love you, and you are a great help. I just want to be clear, though, because if your mandate or your target is to make money, that's not going to work. You're going to have to start developing. You have some what I call income-producing activities. I mean, showing up to every event is great. Helping up is great. It's very important for every organization. We have those. But I want to be clear, you're not going to make money. So that's the part we want to be clear at. So if you're part of the social group, we'll love you. You're so important, but you're not going to make money. So enjoy your social aspect, enjoy your new friends, and understand that that's where, now for things to change, then you have to change, which means now you have to do some income producing activities that's going to make you money. Good or great? Great. Now, I don't want you to take this the wrong way. If you're part of the social group, like I said, it's a very important aspect that direct sales MLM brings to the field. It's an important thing. So that's wonderful. We have people like that in every city I go to. They're wonderful. They're loved. They don't need money. Is good. Nobody says no to money, but it's secondary. You know, they're there for different reasons. So it's wonderful. I just want you to be clear that if you're part of the social group, not because that's what you want, but that's because of your activities, and you really want to make money, well, then you have to do what the rest of us do, which is pick up the phone, smile and dial, make appointments, and show tours and product presentations. Good? If you're part of a social group, enjoy your products and your new friends. You're not going to make a lot of money. All right, next one. This is the biggest segment of our workforce. Why don't you confuse people? Sometime group. And why they say they're confused? Because they think they're part-time. But they're not. There's a big difference between a sometime and a part-time. But sometimers don't like to call themselves sometimers. They don't even know they're sometimers because they think, hey, I show up to the meeting when I can. I get on the conference call when I can. I talk to my friends when it's convenient. Right? If somebody hits me in the head, hey, I'm ready to present. So I guess I'm part-time. No. Let me ask you something. If you had a part-time job and you just showed up when you could, you know, you got to work when you can, would you have that job? So how you want to assess where you're at is that how you do this business. Ask yourself, if I had a part-time job and I had the same MO, method of operation, would I still have a job? If the answer is no, then you're a sometime-er, not a part-timer. Let's just be clear with that, because I want you to know what you are. I don't want you to not know that you don't know. Okay? You are a sometime-er. And when that's clear, then you're going to get sometime money, sometime results, sometime income. Don't go blaming the industry or the company. Understand that's what you put in. Do you think this would help the industry? We had 100 million people involved in our industry. Vast majority of them are sometimers. Do you think that would help our reputation as an industry if they knew they were sometimers? That's why this chapter is so important. Other companies are using it. Because as a company, I would want my people to know where they sit so they don't blame me or the industry. So the sometimers have to understand the difference between them and the next group, part-timers, is that sometimers tend to do their business around their competing commitments. They do when it's convenient. So anything can come up and all of a sudden the businesses takes a back seat and they do it when they can. Part-timers though, not so, which we're going to get to next. So if you're a sometimer, understand that you are a sometimer and understand that you're going to get sometime results. And this is basically the vast majority of our workforce, unfortunately. Good? So the difference between them and the next one is that the part-timers have a distinct plan of action and the sometimers don't. The sometimers socialize the business when they can. They do elevator pitch, talking in the hallway. They don't show the business, they talk about the business. And this is a visual business. So the sometimers, they really need to implement a distinct plan of action in order to get into the game. They're like if this was a soccer game, they're like the subs sitting on the bench, or a hockey game. They'll get involved when somebody gets hurt or somebody gets tired. They're not really in the game. But the next one, part-timers, is when they get in the game. So because sometimers is a vast majority of our workforce, so as leaders, as trainers, our objective is to move as many people from sometime to part-time. And the first step is to tell them that they can identify that they're a sometimer. Once they identify that, then we can lead them to the next. Good or great? Great. All right. The next one, part-time group. The part-time group have it almost right. They have it almost right. They have a distinct plan. They get it, they're committed. They set up a schedule for themselves and they follow it. They do pretty much everything right. But what separates them from the next group is that they refuse to evolve more than where they are now. Remember what Jim Rohn says, you want more, you have to become more, right? So these are the type of people that will come in, they follow the plan, everything else, but they're shy a little bit on putting themselves in front of the room. They're shy themselves to become trainers and coaches. They don't understand the human element of the industry because, remember, in this business, people follow you. I always say, when you launch a VDM, when you start a new business partner, move in with them for 6 months. Not literally, but move in with them. In other words, every single day your interaction, conference calls, text messages, and all sharing messages. Because once you build that bond and like and trust, they never leave your team. Doesn't matter how well they're doing, they never leave your team. They don't understand, the part-timers don't quite understand the social element of this work. You gotta invite them to your home time to time, go for a coffee shop, spend some time at a restaurant, invest a little money into them, build that like and trust. Most importantly, they do not want to lead by doing trainings, either presentations to be in front of the room, do presenting, at least do testimonials. Let me tell you something. People are attracted to strength, not weakness. Okay? I want you to know that. But here's the reason why. When you bring prospects, generally, they don't tell you this, but this is what's going on. They're lacking self-confidence. They're not telling you this, but they're lacking self-confidence. and they look at the leader. Can he or she take me to the promised land? Can I follow them? Because they don't think they could do it. Rarely somebody will come in and they have that confidence. Rarely. The masses, they don't. They want the leader to follow. So I told her, I said, what you need to do is start participating in the tours, trainings, outside activities. This was in 2007, 8, I don't know what year it was, a long time ago. Of course, today we know what you've done. But at the end of the day, I know you're scared. I know you're not a public speaker, and you don't have to be. You don't have to be. But you have to take leadership because your people expect that of you. And when you do that, they get inspired to do the same. And boy, when that happens, duplication happens. And when that duplication in your organization, you will explode with activity. But if everyone's playing scared, it's tough. It's tough. Remember, the upside to our business is your people will do what you do. The downside to our business is, nice and loud, I want you to say it. The upside, so if you're too busy to come to conferences, you're too busy to get on the webinars, you're too busy to have some of this social aspect that you must do, holding conference calls in your home, doing, do some travel, do the coffee and the latte with your team, taking that new hot shot Spark with gasoline all over it, by taking them out for lunch. If you're too busy to do those things, if you're too busy to train, or if you just don't know how to do it, you all expect the upline to do it. So it's all duplicates. A lot of times the communication breaks down too, because if you're not training your people, guess what? They're not getting trained, period. They're not getting trained, period. If you're not going to be on the webinars, then guess what? They're not going to be webinars. If you're not on the CDSC call on a Monday night, and you qualified for it because you're diplomat or above, if you're not on it, you're not talking about it naturally, then that's duplicating your team. Does that give you some answers, part-timers? Yeah? The difference between you and the next one is not that much. Now, the first 5 categories, right up to part-time, so the first 5, social group and sometimers and down, they're not going to do anything significant in this industry. So the vast majority of our workforce, they're not going to do much in the industry. Can you see why we have the averages that we have? Is it clear now why the industry's got such a horrible track record? The first 5 categories of the 8, those folks will never see success. Here's the good news. They can all switch over. But the very first thing we need is education, information, clarity, and that's what the 8 categories does, doesn't it? Because you're sitting there right now thinking, oh, I thought I was a part-timer, but really, maybe I'm a sometime. And I always got at least one person every seminar, at least one person walks up to me in private, and he says, can I talk to you? I said, yeah. He says, I think I'm a slave driver. Hey, at least you recognize it now, right? And when the uplines are happy, oh, thank God. I'm not getting a list anymore. Can I call my people? Can I train my people? Which, by the way, uplines should do. But what I'm saying, though, if you're not doing it yourself, chances are your team will never get that support. That's another message I have for you. The minute you launch yourself or somebody else, instantly put them on the map of your upline, instantly. Because if you get consumed by life, at least you're supported. You're still new, you don't know much, at least you're supported. So if I got in today, if I got back into a field like you, if I started today as a distributor, where the first thing I would do, who are the top earners, where they fall in my uplines, I'm on the phone with them. I want to put myself on their map. So the word is qualified upline. Qualified upline doesn't mean the person who actually enrolled you in, because they may not be qualified. They may be, they may not be. Depends who it is. Qualified upline, we call the My 5. the My Five is not necessarily the person who brought you in. It's who's qualified to help you. Qualified means they can do tour, they can do basic trainings, they can do conference calls, they know the systems, the back office, those styles. They don't have to be top earners either. You don't need Razals and Renees and Sherry's. It could be someone who understands the basic part of the business. That's called qualified upline. So if I got into the field today, the very first thing I do, I'll find who the top guys. I'm on the phone with them. Also, the next people that I launch, I'll make sure that they are on their map, because if I'm going on vacation, I don't want them to go on vacation at the same time because I'm not around. You want the business to be, the word is self-functional. How you do self-functional is through a system. There's tripod to success in MLM. One side, you need a good product. One side, you need a good compensation plan. The problem with the industry is they think that's all you need. I was one of those guys, because there's a tripod. There's two, product, comp plan, there's a tripod. The third one is what people don't understand. I remember years ago, I was trying to make some money, and it wasn't even a lot. It was like $5,000 a month or something like this, my first company. And I got very fortunate. The top earner in the industry, his name was Larry Thompson. He had made like $130 million at the time in MLM. He started with Amway, and then he built Herbalife from the ground up. And so then he had gone on his own. And our top income earner in our company at the time, he was making $120,000 a month. He was a student of Larry Thompson from previously. So through him, I was fortunate. I got linked to Larry. I could talk to Larry. He would actually call and talk to my group, and he wasn't part of our company, but he would talk to my group and so forth. So one day I was talking to Larry Thompson. I'm a guy who just got in, make $5,000 a month. The guy's been doing that at that time 26 years. He had made $130 million. I'm arguing with him. He says, "Oh, Larry, no, we're going to be this, we got the best product, best juice, we got the best cookies and all this stuff," right? I'm going on, and because I was one of those guys like everyone else to hear, right? And he was being very patient with me. He says, "So you think you have all it takes to hit a home run in this industry?" So yeah, all you need is a good comp plan and good product, and we got both of them. And he said, "Well, let me ask you a question. You got people in your company with the same product and the same comp plan. They're not doing well, right?" "Yeah. They're not all dogs. Some of them working really hard, and they're not doing well, right?" "Yeah. What happened?" I had no answer for that, because it's a tripod. It's tripod. The third link is the support system. The third party credibility and knowledge. That's where the third, so that's so important that when you first launch, find out who's in your upline, who are qualified, who are the best, who are the top earners, get their story, understand it, get some of the DNA in you and pass it on to your team. Make sure that your uplines are in direct contact with your team. The one mistake that I see some emerging leaders, I call it emerging because they're not leaders yet, but emerging leaders do, is that my team, my team, my team, my team, my team. And a lot of it comes from baggage from other companies that you bring into this business. Bad idea. Mistake. You cannot be, your business cannot be self-functional when you do that. Because the minute if you only support system they have, that the minute you're busy, guess what? They're waiting for you. And that kills momentum. Here's how it should be. Here's an ideal situation where if I call my upline and they're not busy, they're busy, oh, I'm calling the next one. Instantly I know. Okay, so in this case, I'll call Marshall. Marshall's busy, then I call, okay, go back to Maria. She's busy, then, okay, Lure. So I need to have a list of my five, that if I need something now, I get it now. Not to leave a message, "Hi, Marshall, it's Ramin, I had a question, I have a prospect here, I need to talk to you, can you call me back?" But look, you do that, but I need to have a list that I can get the job done now. The person's in front of me. So that's how the My Five is so important. That's why I created it. But then it comes down to, again, qualified uplines, right? People who can help you. That's not necessarily your enroller. It could be, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. So very, very important that you do that. Okay, so the part-time serious people, the difference between them and part-time is that they understand the human element. They take the time to spend time, coffees, lattes, lunches with their new hot shots. They spend time with the generation 1 and 2, people that personally brought in, people they brought in. They're always available on the phone. They don't have a strict schedule. Well, this is family time here, this is God time here, and this is none of that. You do this because you, look, when you brought your people in, you didn't tell them, by the way, before they actually launch their VDM, before they actually come into the business, on that day, oh, don't start yet. I want to tell you the days I'm not available. You didn't say that, right? What you did say was, I'm there for you whenever you need me. That's what you said. You didn't say, by the way, I have restrictions. I got my family time here, my Aunt Matilda time here, there's my God time here. It isn't. Listen, don't hide behind your kids and God. Now, your kids are the reason why you do this. And God is the reason why you're here.